Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are playing through the closing chapter. So, we last left off. Haruki got a phone call from Setsuna. We decided to just text her back at that point. And now here we are with Izumi trying to work on her project.
駅前のこんないい場所に住んでるくせにケチケチしなさんなっての。
駅前のこんないい場所に住んでるから家賃が大変なの。余計な家財道具を入れる余裕なんかあるか。
そこをなんとか私の顔に免じてさ、春樹にはもてなしの心ってやつがわかんないかな。
It is true though, the closer you live to a train station or a subway in Japan, the more expensive the rent is.
あと、そうやって俺の部屋に自分の存在を確立させようとするな。お前が来ていいのはあくまでレポートが終わるまでだ。
なんという友達がいのなさ。春樹は間違いなくド S だよね。
This woman just told me not 1 minute ago that her legs were numb, and yet she's making a huge fuss while noisily kicking her feet around on my bed right now.
だから人の部屋で暴れるなっての。みっともない。
Especially not with that outfit on.
あのさ、泉。
I passed her the instant coffee I just made, and she started gulping it straight down. There are a lot of women around me who like their coffee black.
先週うちに来た日のことだけどさ、ほら正門で付属の子が待ってて。
How could she forget?
ああ、一度だけのつもりでついフラフラと若い肉体に溺れちゃったら、その後もしつこく関係を迫られて困ってるって言ってたあの子。
My goodness, Chiaki. How could she say things like that with a straight face?
多分お前と俺の指している相手は同じなんだろうが、認識が壊滅的にずれているのをどうにかしてくれ。
で、その子がどうしたって？
お前、俺と付き合ってるって言ったんだって？彼女に。
二度と会うつもりないんじゃなかったっけ？彼女に。
There was a brief pause at the very beginning, but Izumi doesn't seem to be fazed at all. Well, it's not like I've ever seen her lose her composure. In the half a year or so I've known her.
偶然会ったんだよ。別の場所で。そしたら、なんか妙な誤解してて。
で、もしかして解いちゃった？その誤解。
解かなくちゃならないだろ普通。結果的に嘘ついてるって分かったらさ。
Yikes.
一番後腐れのない手を使ってあげたんだけどな。
She did try. I don't think it was the best idea to lie, especially when it seems like everyone in this game knows each other.
後腐れ。
On the other hand, it also means this woman lies without batting an eyelash. Okay, that's not fair to say, Haruki, because you lie at the drop of a hat all the time. Well, to speak of whether she's shown any signs of a conscience within the time I've known her, spanning more than half a year, I'll just stop here.
ああ、せっかくの処置が台無しだ。まったく春樹ってばお真面目さんなんだから。
More importantly, she's looking at me with a dumbfounded expression, as if I'd failed to properly read the mood.
なんでそんなデタラメを。
I really have to take an admonishing tone with her. Even though I know full well that she probably said all of that for my sake.
だって春樹さ、女に触れたくないんでしょ？本気になるのがダメなんでしょ？女嫌い通り越して拒否反応出るんでしょ？
Yikes, she's pinning him. She did it all for my sake is probably an understatement at this point.
だからこそ、普通の人には女に見えるけど、春樹にだけは女に見えない私をこうしてそばに置いてる。
This girl.
ならあんたの期待に応えないとね。春樹が女に直接触れなくてもいいように私が防波堤になってあげるよ。
泉。
Before I knew it, she's come to understand me.
別にあんたに女扱いされてないこと怒ってもないしショックでもないよ。私もそういう関係が嫌いなわけじゃないし。
She's already seen through the almost disrespectful sense of comfort I have when I'm with her.
むしろ春樹との今の関係はかなり好きな部類に入るし。
And yet, she's willing to seal up her pride as a woman and any other such feminine emotions for me.
だから春樹は遠慮なく私に逃げればいいよ。その代わりレポートと晩ご飯と寝床をよろしく。
The way she swaps from serious mode to joking mode is almost kind of sad. It's definitely not the simple exchange of services she makes it out to be. She's simply going along with my ulterior motives. I can't recall ever revealing this much about myself. Why does this person know so much about me? Just how much does she actually know?
なあ、泉。
何春樹。
お前さ、そこまで分かってるんなら、なんで？今日に限って女の格好してんだよ。さっきから見えてたよ。
何？女じゃないやつの生足とかパンツとか見て嬉しいわけ？
How can he actually see those? I mean, okay. If that's the case, if you know full well how I feel, then why are you still messing with me like this?
彼氏でもない男の部屋で太ももを晒すな。そのまま足を崩すな。みっともない。
As soon as she got here today, she turned on the heater and raised the temperature by 5 degrees. And ignoring the baffled look in my eyes, she proceeded to take off her coat and sweater and started relaxing like she was in her own home. In just a camisole and miniskirt, she's dressed a little more casually than she really should be in front of a man.
いやもうさっきから春樹の目のそらし方が可愛くてさ、ついつい必要以上に足開いちゃうんだよね。
Let's not forget too certain objects barely covered by her camisole that are ever so slightly bouncing to the rhythm of her laughter. Wow, what a sentence. 2 certain objects. This writing is so funny.
せめてセーターだけは着てくれ。見てられない。
Does she even have a bra on under that? I'm a little scared of the answer, so I won't ask.
そうは言ってもさ、これただの部屋着だし、相手が友達だからこそこういう格好になるんだって。
それは詭弁だろ。親しき中にも礼儀ありというワードで検索しろ。
Oh, that's a nice expression. I mean, to a certain point, it's a nice expression. It's a very convenient expression for Haruki, but I think it is good advice overall.
そんなに気になる？女じゃないのに？もしかして春樹ってバイ？
もうどこから突っ込めばいいのやら。
Adorable. Pictured left at the Hojo High School entrance ceremony. April 20XX. Accepted into her mother, Yoko's alma mater, Hojo High School. Her extraordinary ability was made clear the moment she entered, participating in a national competition while only in her first year. With overwhelming support from the judges in the final round, she took first place. From then on, the name of the most astounding prodigy since the school's founding quickly spread throughout the nation. I'm getting goosebumps. I imagine that she'd either scratch her head in irritation or just straight up tear it apart if she saw this. Still, with the info I gathered from my trip to the high school, I can't really write anything that doesn't reek of stealth marketing.
もうちょっと表現を抑えるか。
Before the interview, I did think that I would need to apply a fair amount of editing afterward, but I didn't expect that it would be heading in this direction. No matter who I asked, everyone from the faculty had nothing but praise for her, to the point where I'm almost starting to question my own memories. It's like their memories of how they treated her and the humiliation they put her through were all cleanly washed away from their hearts. I'd go as far as to consider them bullies. No, it's not like she was always on the receiving end either.
にしてもつまんなくなりそうだな。
Everyone holds nothing but admiration and praise for Toma, hailing her as an unbelievable prodigy, an unmatched ace student, and an elegant and refined lady. It's as if Toma had shed her mortal body and ascended into an overpowering, heroic being. But
まあ、こんなところか。
the facts might be twisted, but the material gathered from the interview remains the same. If this Kazusa that's so fondly remembered by everyone was the real Toma Kazusa, could I, too, transform my feelings into more beautiful memories, I wonder? Healthier ones, like the positive ones I used to have. It'd be great if that were the case, but I can't even bring myself to imagine something like that. No. Here's the thing. What the teachers have done is fine because they weren't directly involved with Toma. It doesn't really matter. Haruki's memories are all tainted. They all seem negative to him. Really, what you need to have is a good mix. You need to have happy memories of people. You need to have sad memories of people. And that's just the healthiest way to be able to look at things. But neither of these parties are doing that.
なあ泉、そろそろ終電じゃないか。
It's been some time since I last called out to Izumi, who's been quietly revising her paper beside me. Usually, her complaints start flying after a mere 5 minutes, dragging us back into the battle of lazed chatter versus tireless lecturing. However, it's now been 30 minutes since either of us even said anything. I've never seen Izumi so focused. I guess my passionate efforts finally rubbed off on this lazy girl. Well, it's not like I'm supposed to be this enthusiastic when it comes to helping her with her paper, though. I do feel like Haruki has that teacher in him. He would make a good professor if that's the path he decided to take.
なあ、泉って。
It seems that I was the only one among the two of us that was actually focused earlier.
泉。おい、泉って。
The body of her paper is nearly complete, but was it inappropriate of me to have left her alone and remained mostly uninvolved?
そろそろ帰らないと電車なくなるぞ。早く起きろって。
Seeing how she wouldn't wake up, no matter how many times I shook her shoulders, I move on to packing up her documents and whatnot to get her ready to leave. It wasn't until now that I noticed her bag was much bigger than last week. Much too big for regular school purposes, with more than enough space to pack a change of clothes for a night.
だから春樹は遠慮なく私に逃げればいいよ。その代わりレポートと晩ご飯と寝床よろしく。
And she was not exaggerating.
寝床。
Wait, don't tell me she... Alright, and as always, I always recommend doing a save state when it comes to this, just so you can go back and do all of the different endings. Let's go ahead and force her up.
起きろ。おい、起きろ、泉。
Seeing how just shaking one of her shoulders isn't waking her up, I grab both of her shoulders and start forcibly shaking her. Ouch!
あ、すまん。
And as a result, her head ends up crashing down onto the table. Oh my goodness, that sounded really painful.
もうなんなんよ。
Well, she's awake now. Thanks to that, she's now menacingly glaring at me, with a faint sparkle in the corner of her eye that I'm not sure is a result of her fatigue or simply pain. But now's not the time to be caught up in these trivial details.
やばいぞ、おい。お前、そろそろ終電の時間。
で、何時？
1時。
終電なら出てから30分は経過してますが。
Oh boy, and when the trains stop in Japan, they usually don't open up until about 6 a.m.
だよな。
I was too careless. It seems like I was more caught up in my article than I thought.
本当にいいの？
ああ、風呂で寝るから。毛布だけ持ってくぞ。
In the bathtub? Why not on the floor?
そりゃまあ悪いのは春樹だけど、別に大して怒ってないって。
このまま会話を続けると、俺が大して怒ることになりそうだからやめとこうぜ。
Very smart decision. As per a democratic vote just now, it's Haruki's fault for forgetting the train schedule and not waking up Izumi in time party won, with a grand total of 1 vote. As for the other voter, he didn't see much point in continuing this stupid argument and gave up his voting privileges.
お風呂場なんて狭いでしょ？別にこっちで寝てもいいんだよ。
Yeah, literally just sleep on the living room floor if anything.
こっちってどっちだよ。
The bed and anywhere else are a billion connotations apart.
どっちでも。
おやすみ。
Tch. Was saying that with the blanket half open while lightly tapping the bed just another one of her jokes?
意地になんないでよ、春樹。ちょっとした残酷な友情じゃんか。
That's what she calls poking fun at me, huh? She's only pretending to understand me, isn't she? Just so she can mess with me like this. How can you pretend? She literally psychoanalyzed him just now and said exactly what it was he was feeling and how he felt. How is that pretending? If I really started looking at Izumi as a woman, she'd probably just get a big laugh out of it or something.
負けるかよ。
Having snuggled into this space too cramped for even a single person, the mounting fatigue slowly but surely blurs out my vision. Ogiso Setsuna's name is on the receiver.
ごめんね、夜遅く。誰？
Oh boy.
ごめん。ちょっと寝ぼけてる。この電話、だから。
Yikes. Oh, big yikes.
ああ、間違い電話？今度から気をつけてね。違う。ここだけは間違えるわけない。じゃあ、誰だっけ？もったいぶらないでよ。いいんです。ごめんなさい。こんなに夜遅く。何時？3時。先週と同じ。
Oh, Setsuna. She literally waited, thinking that Haruki was going to be free at 3 a.m. for whatever god-awful reason that would be.
何が？
なんでもないです。起こしてしまって本当にごめんなさい。それじゃあ失礼します。
はーい。おやすみ。
おやすみなさい。
寝よ。
Whew. What a nightmare. Not literally a nightmare, but what a nightmare for Haruki. And Setsuna.
Oi, Haruki! 起きろ!
Good morning.
開けろ! シャワー浴びさせろ!
An unfamiliar ceiling, an unfamiliar voice, and an unfamiliar sleeping position. Being rushed by a seemingly desperate but somehow carefree voice, I slowly lift my body up. The hand I was using for support slipped, and it took a short while before a dull pain began to throb in the back of my head.
うわ、すごい音したよ。起きた？ハルキ。
そこは起きたじゃなくて大丈夫だろう。一宿一般の恩義的には。
I mean, to be fair, you did slam her head last night. Oh yeah. My hospitality to Izumi, who's only a friend, didn't end at just dinner. I also seem to have offered her some other form of accommodation.
わざわざ鍵まで閉めるかな。そんなに私の理性が信用できないわけ？
Even though it was more likely that I didn't trust myself, it's not like locking the door from the inside would do anything to stop that anyway. What do you mean don't trust yourself? Haruki is just... No, it wouldn't happen. He's too emotionally unstable.
おはよう。
When it comes to women anyway.
っていうか、よくそんな格好で寝れるね。体中痛くない？
I only actually fell asleep around the time the sun started popping its head over the horizon. How do you know that? You're in the bathroom. I'm sure you don't have any windows in there. That aside, the fact that the back of my head's hurting this bad also means I can't really feel the pain anywhere else in my body.
今何時
8時。急げば春樹の大好きな朝一の講義も間に合うよ。
Not just the first period. I love all my classes. What a nerd, Haruki. I guess I'm still half asleep, since I could only manage to answer her in my head.
シャワー借りるよ。あとトーストは2枚。目玉焼きは両面。ソース派だから塩コショウ勝手にかけないでね。
Oh, that sounds so good.
朝食用意すること前提なのか。
Do I even have any eggs left?
もたもたしないで出ていく。ま、一緒に入るっていうなら止めないけどさ。
俺が止め、脱ぎ出すな。
Even after telling her that wearing nothing but a camisole was enough to drive me crazy, she still...
ほんと、春樹のリアクションは面白いね。
I actually saw it for a split second. The horror.
もう二度と止めないからな。来週からは終電逃したら外で寝ろ。お前の大好きな寝袋を用意しといてやる。
The change of clothes she brought are the long-sleeved shirt and pants that she always wears. Stuff that isn't nearly as revealing.
ああ、そういえばさ、もしかしたら春樹に謝らなくちゃならないかも。
確定してることをいかにも可能性っぽく語るな。
There's so many things wrong here that I don't even know what I should get mad at her for first.
春樹、携帯部屋に置いてったでしょ？夜中に一度かかってきてさ。
そんな些細なことを謝るつもりがあるなら、もう少し俺にかけてる迷惑の量と質をだな。
女の子からでさ、 私の声聞いたらなんかえらく慌てちゃって。
Uh-oh. At least she was honest. At least she didn't keep it a secret.
今朝着信見たら、小木曽ゆきな？そんな感じの名前の子。
Yukina and Setsuna both use the same kanji as the first kanji in the names. That's why she's a little confused.
Yukina.
Huh, it's not Yukina. That Yuki is actually read as Setsu for Setsuna.
夜中の3時だったから、もしかしたら緊急かも。
3時。
3 in the morning, so 3 hours past Wednesday. Which means it's the same time as last week. How observant.
後でフォロー入れといた方がいいかも。もしかしたら妙な誤解されてるかもしんないし。
いや、必要ない。大丈夫だ。
Boy, Haruki, how rude.
そう？なんなら私が直接フォローしても。
No more meddling, Chiaki.
必要ないって言ってるだろ。
そう。
The possibility never crossed my mind. Our little exchange the previous week had been a joyful, irreplaceable moment for the both of us. One that we'd managed to share together for the first time after so long. At the very least, that's how I felt about it. Setsuna probably felt the same. I think. Our words reached each other and managed to shorten the distance between us. This is where I just get so frustrated with Haruki, though, because it is so obvious Setsuna wants to see him and wants to talk to him and wants to mend their relationship. And now Haruki's acting like, oh, we got a little closer. I'm so happy. That was so great. Literally, all he would have to do is talk to her. It just makes me so mad. That said, if I were to be given another chance to contact her, I'm certain that I'd unhesitatingly press the accept button if she were to call. Just call her! It's so simple! If we could just casually continue with that 2, 3 more times, then maybe we could find our way back to the path we strayed away from 3 years ago. But we missed that chance. No, you didn't. Oh, Haruki makes me so mad. We might have reached the first point, but our second destination happened to disappear out of the blue. And so, this single point that will never be a line will never become what connects us together.
じゃ、今日はここまで。名簿前まで持ってきてください。
Our third lecture of the day is over, and the sun has already made its way over to the west. There's no more classes left for the day, so we should head on over to the seminars.
なあ、泉。お前のレポートだけど、小木島教授に中間報告。
Now that I think about it, other than signing the attendance sheet, this woman beside me spent the whole class laying on her desk. Be it during the 3rd period just now, or the first 2 periods in the morning, all she did was sleep.
おい。
Even I, who slept in the hard and uncomfortable bathtub, managed to properly wake up. And yet the woman who slept on my bed is still half stuck in dreamland.
起きろ！この三軒寝太郎！
Good morning. Man, this is the second time he's clonked her in the head in 24 hours. Just thinking about last night makes my blood boil.
もう、なんなの、春樹。
And that just now was a bit of a materialization of it.
とっくに講義終わってるんだよ。お前は一体どこまで育つつもりだ？
何？やっぱお風呂入ってる時覗いたの？
俺は身長のことを言ってるだけだ。性的な意味だと一切ない。
何件目が終わったって？今何時？
Alright, and I think we will stop off for today. So, thank you so much for joining me on this chapter of White Album 2, closing chapter, and I'll be back at you with more soon enough. So until then, I hope you take care. See you!